All right, what's up, guys? Mike Van Schellenbeck here. Welcome to another episode of my E36 sedan build. I'm back in town from the holidays with my family, and I've got some interesting updates to share with you guys on the E36 sedan progress. But first, I want to talk about something called Drift Week USA. And what that is, if you're familiar with Drag Week, it's basically a concept where you take your drag car, go to a quarter-mile drag strip, race it. First of all, you street drive it there, race it, and then there's like a bunch of events in a row, and you compete in all of them if you can. So you go race one, then you street drive to the next event, then you race that one, you street drive to the next event. Well, Aaron Losey and BC Racing have cooked up something called Drift Week USA, which is actually starting not this weekend, but next weekend. And I'm going to be involved in it. And some of your favorite FD drivers and YouTubers will as well. So that's going to be really exciting. We're going to be street driving cars all the way across the US. We're hitting, I think, 7 or 8 track days and like 10 total days, 10 or 12 total days. So it's going to be really wild. I apologize if this is a little shaky. I just got back from the gym and I'm jittery still. But we're doing Drift Week USA. So anyways, I have to have a street car essentially that can be legal and whatnot. And I've missed having a street car for years. I used to have a 95 M3 that was turboed, and I just love driving it every day. So that's the idea behind this car, was to build another fun street car that's going to have AC and heat and all that, and be able to drive it on the street. Well, Drift Week USA is here. My coupe is definitely not a street car. It doesn't have front windows. It's not legal. It's not lockable. I don't even have door locks in it right now. So there would be a ton of stuff to make the coupe roadworthy for that. So long story short, what I'm going to do for Drift Week USA is swap my entire coupe drivetrain with the built engine, the big diff, the ZF, my nice clutch, everything into this car. So I'm gonna have a really fancy street car again that makes a whole bunch of power, and I'm gonna do something else for the coupe drivetrain. So I'm gonna put a ZF back in the coupe, but I'm gonna do a 391 welded diff in that one, because I think the limited slip, which I currently have in the coupe, would be better suited behind the built engine, and in a street car, limited slip's a little bit nicer. With the drift car, I could handle the welded 391 in the coupe. So I'm going to weld the 391, put it in the coupe, take the entire drivetrain out of the coupe and put it in this thing, and then I'm gonna have a really badass street car with full interior. My buddy Ben Lee from Venture Performance Fabrication, I think I've talked about him before in a video. He's coming tomorrow to weld in the Condor Speed Shop rear subframe reinforcement plates. So we're gonna do the rear subframe plates, rear trailing arm pocket plates, and rear shock tower reinforcements, just to get the entire rear of the car completely solid. And then I'm basically going to swap in everything from the coupe. So I'm taking the entire front subframe out of the coupe and the entire rear subframe out of the coupe, and I'm just going to throw them in this thing, and then I'll have to do a little bit of wiring and stuff because my coupe's OBD2, this is OBD1. I'll probably be swapping over the computer as well. What else? Yeah, that basically covers it. So my logic there for swapping drivetrains again is I have a really fancy built engine that I've spent a lot of money on in my coupe. I'm not going to have as much time this year to do competitive drifting. I'm still going to be drifting, but I'm not going to be competing as much or focusing on that as much. So this just seems like a better move. It'll be way more comfortable. I'll run lower boost to conserve tires, and then I can also take 3 passengers at a time for laps. And the coupe, I'm probably going to put a stock M50 back in it. Maybe this one, maybe with a cut ring and ARP head studs on it or something. I'm not 100% sure on that because honestly, I built the built engine in the coupe a long time ago. It's been together for years. So if I were to keep that as a competitive car and really be serious about it, it's probably time to just build another engine, in which case I might do a 2.8 or I'm not really sure. But 300 wheel or 350 wheel, maybe even 400 wheel with a stockish M50 is very easy to do, and with a 391 diff will be more than enough power to have a ton of fun and keep up with everybody in the coupe. I keep saying coupe. Two-door. It's a two-door, whatever. So that's my logic. I want to have a bulletproof daily again. I want to be able to put it on E85 and turn it up to 650 wheel and roast fourth gear down the highway if I want to, because I'm an idiot. And yeah, so wish me luck. Drift Week USA is literally next weekend starting here in Texas, and the driver list is ridiculous. So I don't think I can share that with you, but just know that there are multiple Formula Drift drivers coming, multiple of your favorite YouTubers coming who may or may not like drifting. They like drifting. And then, yeah, it's going to be great. So wish me luck. Hopefully this thing is ready. Let's switch to the other camera and I'll show you where I'm at with the swap. I just got back yesterday from Utah, like I said, and started pulling the front end off to get the engine ready to pull out. So let's look at it. All right, as you can see, we still got a bunch of trailing arms and stuff I was working on before I left. I pulled basically all of the front end off of the car because that's the easiest way I found to pull the engines out. So I actually pulled the AC condenser as well, and I know you're not supposed to just take off AC lines. You're technically supposed to evacuate them, but I didn't. I did a bad boy, and I did a bad boy, ew. So I just took the lines off, and it spilled the refrigerant, which actually is a really good sign because this car has been sitting for like 7 years, and the fact that it still held a charge means that the rest of the system's probably nice and sealed up. I changed the hood shocks on this thing the other day, so ooh, look at that, it holds itself. How nice, fancy. Okay, so got the entire front end off, just the frame rails exposed. Basically, there's nothing behind the engine anymore. The transmission's out, so I just need to pretty much undo a bunch of coolant lines and some wiring, and then take the 2 engine mounts off. Actually, I'm not even going to take the engine mounts off. I'm probably going to lift the whole front chassis, and then just drop the subframe out. That way the engine will come out with it, and then I'll just throw the whole other subframe in with the other engine mounts. I think that'll be the easiest way to go. Another thing I do need to consider, since I'm going back to a street car in this thing, I need to think about coolant hose routing. In my coupe, I have, if you can see this line right there, back there, this is a coolant hose that comes off the back of the cylinder. All right, that coolant hose comes off the back of the head right here. There's a little port that comes out the back, and basically that goes to your heater hoses. So the heater core inside the car circulates through there and then back into what they call a spider hose, which is this entire coolant hose that goes basically everywhere. So I have that port blocked off in my coupe because I don't have any heater controls or anything, and that just simplifies the coolant routing. I don't have a spider hose. I just have the back of the water pump coming straight out to the expansion tank, which essentially is what this whole thing does. It just has a lot of other appendages that go other places. But I'm gonna basically have to take this fitting off and put it on the other engine so that I will have heat, because I intend for this to be a functional street car in every sense of the word. So I don't want to skimp on something like heater, you know, if I need to defrost the windows or whatever, or if it's just cold, you know, whatever. So so yeah, that'll be that. I will have heat for sure. One thing that I'm not going to have for this Drift Week USA trip is air conditioning. So I do have an air conditioning compressor here. I totally intend to keep air conditioning. I'm going to keep all the other lines and everything in place that I can. But I'm probably going to need to bend some stuff out of the way and, you know, maybe heat wrap the downpipe, since it's going to be going down now instead of out the hood. I'm going to have it redone, so it's more of a street car. So my equal length twin scroll manifold on my coupe does not clear an air conditioning compressor. VI engineered John Vigil made a new version of the manifold that does clear the compressor, but I don't have that yet, and I'm not going to have time to buy one of those, have him fabricate it, and get it in time for this trip. So basically I'm just going to run it with no AC compressor, and then when I get back from the trip, I'm actually going to sell the equal length manifold I have and get one of the new ones that are designed for AC. So then I'll get the AC running, you know, hopefully in about 2 weeks or so, or 3. But yeah, that's the current plan. Those are the hurdles that I foresee, is the heater hookup and then the AC not clearing the manifold. So I just won't run AC for now, just so I can make the trip. We're actually heading to California, so there should be nice weather on the way. We'll see. Hopefully not too hot at least. See, other hurdles I need to think about. I wanted to run a clutch fan on this car, but to do that I have to have the hot side pipe remade to go outside of the frame rail through this space, and currently I have the AC, what looks like, is that the dryer? I don't know what that is. I guess that's the dryer. It's a weird shaped one though. So I need to keep the AC component there. So basically, prior, my hot side pipe came off the turbo, like right here, and went down inside the frame rail and then out and around. And that prevented me from running a clutch fan, because the clutch fan takes up all this space. So I had to offset, like most people do, with the squall fan over here and the pipe there. And I think I'm just going to have to do that and run an electric fan on this car, just because of that AC location is forcing me to. So that means I won't have to remake the hot side pipe. After all, I was going to have Ben redo that pipe so that I could get a clutch fan on it. Unfortunately, it looks like that's just not possible with keeping the AC, so I will just leave the hot side pipe like it is, and it will go inside the frame rail again. On the cold side, I'm going to reuse the intercooler mount that I have off the coupe for now. That way everything will bolt up and the piping distance and everything will make sense. And I will just use all the vibrant clamps that I already have. And I'll repurpose this other piping I have, or put it on the coupe later, put some vibrant flanges on that. So this should get me up and running relatively quickly and ready for Drift Week USA. And yeah, the only other hurdle we have here is fenders and wheel and tire fitment. So currently the plan is to use the same wheels I have on the coupe. So they're XXR 530s with adapters, and they're going to stick out quite a bit, especially with the front angle kit. You know how angle kits are wide on pretty much every car, especially E36s. They really stick out a bunch. So I'm going to have to do some type of flare solution. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I definitely need to have a flare though, because I need to have a 265 in the back, and you really can't clear a 265 on those stock little E36 fenders. So they will be cut. I'm gonna try to do it as cleanly as possible, because this car is really clean, and then I'll make it as pretty as possible after Drift Week USA. I'm kind of under the gun here, so, well, kinda. Yeah, and I would like to actually do a wrap on this car. I think it'd be really cool, like as a drift demo or drift like ride-along car. I think that would be fun. I'll be driving it at the Super Lap demo at Circuit of the Americas February 15th and 16th, so you can come get a ride along in this thing with me, with full interior and all that. It's not fully assembled right now, but I'm gonna put the I got a new shift knob coming from Condor Speed Shop, nice shift boot and a nice e-brake boot. I'm gonna put on my Energy Lone Star Drift Trophy steering wheel, and I've actually already got sport seats in this thing. So they're not bucket seats, but they are real nice and easy to get into. So for hauling passengers, I feel like that's probably the way to go. Still have a bunch of stuff in here right now because I was dealing with the coilover install, and I'm keeping it all out. I haven't reassembled the rear. Oh man, there's still a bunch of shit here. I haven't reassembled the rear yet because I need to have rear shock tower reinforcement plates welded in by my buddy Ben. I'm not sure if they go on the top side or the bottom side of the shock towers there, but I want to get those taken care of before I close all that up and put the carpet and everything back like it's supposed to. Another thing I need to think about, or just one thing to consider when I'm talking about all the swap stuff and making this a very functional drift car, is it does not have a surge tank. So it just has a single in-tank fuel pump on the passenger side. So when you get the fuel low enough and you're taking hard right-hand corners, all the fuel sloshes to the left side, and then you can temporarily starve the pump, and then you get like a sputtering issue, or you go lean, or worst case scenario, you can actually hurt the engine if you really went lean, but usually that's not the case. So that's the purpose of a surge tank. This car doesn't have one right now, and I'm probably not going to have time to plumb one. I think I will eventually put one in the trunk, but for now I'm just going to keep it more simple with the in-tank pump We're only going to run between 10 and 15 pounds boost on pump gas for this trip, so it should be somewhere around 400 wheel, maybe a little bit more, but that'll be a nice balanced level. I'll get really good tire life out of the 265 Kendas, and should be able to keep up with some of the other cars, which are going to be ranging from around 300 wheel to I think up to 500 wheel or so. So yeah, that's the update on that. All right, so that's the update on Drift Week USA, what it is, what we're doing. It's coming really soon. I hope you guys are excited about it. It's everyone I've told, which is only a few people, they're really excited about it. It's a really cool concept, and hope the car survives. Hope it makes it the whole way. I hope that I don't have any issues. One of a secondary or third reason for swapping this drivetrain, the coupe drivetrain, over into this thing is it's kind of a proven thing, right? Like I drifted that exact drivetrain in the other chassis. You know, I know it could drift right now. I could go fire it up and it's reliable. Everything's good to go. I wouldn't hesitate to take it to an event and rip on it right now. So that being said, putting the exact same drivetrain in this thing, in this car, should give me the same level of confidence, you would think, right? Like, it's a good engine. I built it. Everything's like good on it. It's reliable, and I'm confident that that car, my coupe, in its current state, could take 10 drift events back to back, which is what we're about to do. I need to bring some extra oil. I might do an oil change midway. I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, I'm confident it could do 10 drift events back to back, and driving in between drift events, just cruising on the highway, 3,000 RPMs or whatever, is so easy on an engine. It doesn't matter. It's making good oil pressure. It's like cool temperature. It's nothing. So yeah, I'm confident that this will go well. I don't know if it will or not. We're going to see. It's kind of a Top Gear style filming with trials and tribulations of everyone along the trip. So you know how those guys typically have failures and have to come up with unique solutions to fix them. So we're not bringing trailers. I am potentially going to put a trailer hitch on the back of this thing and tow a small Harbor Freight trailer. But we're not bringing any trailers. The spare wheels and tires are going to be hauled by one support trailer, which is Aaron Losey's trailer. He's bringing, I think, just space for us to have a few tools and some extra wheels and tires so we can change out along the trip. But we are not, get out of here, mosquito. Oh, it's humid here. That's one thing I do not miss being back in Texas. There's mosquitoes around and it's 8 a.m. Great. So we're basically not going to have individual trailers, just the one support trailer. So if someone breaks down, we're all going to have to essentially help them, or maybe we'll leave them. I don't know how it's going to work out. You know how drifters are, though. There's no way we'll leave them. We'll end up helping out and trying to get whoever it is back on the road. So yeah, that's Drift Week USA. Hope you guys are excited. I certainly am. I have a lot of work to do, but I'm going to go up to the shop and get started on pulling the engine out of the coupe, and then bring it home with the truck with the full subframe and everything all together, and then I will pull the engine out of the sedan and then basically just bolt the other subframe up into it. So I'm going to wheel in the subframe right in the front with the engine and everything. That's the purpose of taking off the front end, is you don't have to come in over the front, what would you call it, core support. You don't have to, angle the engine and transmission down in there, and you don't have to like lift the body off of the engine and transmission with a lift. So this is the easiest way. You just wheel it in the front with the front end supported up a little bit, of course. So yeah, that's today's plans. I'm gonna go get to it. Hopefully I'll have the coupe engine and transmission out and at my house today. Unfortunately, the weather looks like it's gonna be really bad later. It's gonna start raining and stuff, so I may not get to that point. I'm probably gonna just end up getting it ready to pull. Hopefully I can pull it, but I don't really want to transport the engine and transmission and everything while it's raining and nasty. Tomorrow it looks like it's going to be really nice. Unfortunately, I totally forgot. I told my girlfriend that I was going to go to a wedding with her, and I just completely forgot about it. So I have to go to a wedding tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So I basically have today and tomorrow morning to kind of get ready, and then I have to go to the wedding, and then Sunday. My buddy Ben is only going to be here for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and he's the one doing the welding for me. So I need to capitalize on having the coupe engine in this car before he leaves so that he can fabricate a downpipe for me. and connect that to the new axle back exhaust I'm gonna have. So it should sound a lot different, hopefully better, more street car, maybe more FD car, I don't know. Probably have to put a muffler on it at some point, but we'll see. Hopefully it sounds cool. But yeah, I have to get all that done before he leaves so that I can make sure that downpipe is finished, because I don't intend to cut this hood and run the exhaust out of this hood. I think that's, for a daily, that's not, I shouldn't do that. Then you have to worry about covering it all the time, or I have over the past had to worry about covering it and stuff at events or just when it rains and the car's outside, and I don't want to deal with stuff like that. I want it to be fully rain sealed, you know, no cuts in the hood. So that's the plan. Wish me luck, and hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned, because I should have another video up, I guess tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, I also forget this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I know that sounds cliche, and that's probably why I never say it at the end of my videos, but those likes, it's a simple click, and it's kind of like YouTube currency. It helps with algorithms, and it helps my video get shown to other people and other audiences. So if you enjoyed it, or you like this concept, you like what I'm trying to do here, I would really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up. That's super helpful, and share it around, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.